welcome to episode 36 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC anime universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And we got some... Oh, actually, we got both Croc and Bullock this time around.
Welcome to season 2, guys.
Oh, shit, that's right. Yeah, we are officially into season 2 now.
It only took us seven-ish months.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, it has been a while.
It.
I was just looking at because I have the whole thing roughly mapped out on a spreadsheet. We are really close to getting into like Superman. I forgot we have
the next show.
I know we have Sub-Zero though, which I forgot about. Which which kind of marks the end of the animated
series. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, the animated series is almost over.
I know, that's weird.
I'm kind of sad about it.
We spent so much time in this.
I know. And then I haven't watched Superman in such a long time. I don't know if it'd actually be any good or not.
I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through, to be honest.
I think I've seen it all. There's probably episodes here and there that I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know. I'm getting kind of sad almost.
But that just means we're closer to Beyond and Static.
Okay, I'm excited once again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any news for this week? Because I forgot to look that up.
I don't have... There's really nothing DC related. I mean, at this point, DC news, particularly in regards to the movies, is kind of going to go on hiatus, I'd imagine, until after Woman comes out. Wonder Woman.
There was the news that we talked about in our big crossover podcast, the Wonder Woman sponsor. What was it?
Oh, the Think Thin bars. Yes. What the fuck were they thinking on that?
You know, I think every other company realized like they can't get anything out of this. It's not going to be worth their time.
It's from what I've been reading, tracking not necessarily critically well, but commercially looks like it's going to pull in about 65 million opening weekend as their projections, which is it's pretty good actually. I mean, that's I guess all right for the kind of movie it's going to be.
What is now the highest grossing opening weekend movie of all time?
Fucking
Fast and Fate of the Furious.
Oh god, I know. Well,
what a movie.
Well, it had an advantage over Star Wars on two fronts. One, that it launched in China at the same time as it did in North America, which Star Wars didn't.
Right.
And also, like, Vin Diesel is fucking huge there, and no one really knows about Star Wars there.
You know, you're part of the problem now, Chris.
How am I part of the problem?
Because you bought a ticket.
God.
You're now just as much at fault as everyone else in the world.
Oh, it's so true.
Welcome to the other side.
But I bought like 3 tickets for Star Wars. Does that help balance it out a little bit?
Nope.
Just a little? All right.
Still part of the problem.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to go hang my head in shame. But I suppose we should do the podcast first, and then I'll go skulk in a corner somewhere and hate myself.
That's what editing's for.
Yeah, just going back to normal, actually. That's the standard state for me.
Yeah.
The only real news I have is that, did you hear about the Deadpool animated series?
I saw the headlines. I didn't dive into it.
I don't know if there's really much to go in other than FX is doing a Deadpool animated series from Donald Glover.
I'm down.
All that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything else to say about it, but other than...
It's as close to Spider-Man as he's going to get.
Yeah, pretty much. It's going to be great. I'm super excited about that. So it was that, and then they're rebooting Hellboy.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah, with David Harbour, who is in Stranger Things. I really like him, actually. I think he'd be a good fit.
He was the sheriff, right?
Yeah, he's a sheriff.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think
Ron Perlman is so good, though.
He was perfect. But I mean, Ron Perlman, he's in his 60s now. I mean, the first one came out in
2003.
Yeah, 2004. Have you seen them?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I've seen them once each, I think. I liked them. Mm-hmm. I've never really read a lot of Hellboy, though, so I don't know that much about it.
I didn't, because that was my first introduction to kind of other comics besides Marvel and DC.
Yeah, because it's Dark Horse.
I didn't know what Dark Horse was at the time.
Yeah.
And then that kind of opened the floodgates for, Image and Omi. Omi is still my number one.
Which one? What do they do again?
Omi Press. They do a lot of the independent stuff.
Okay.
That's where Scott Pilgrim was published through.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Super Pro KO, which is a great series that I'm going to recommend to everyone.
Okay.
Get that early plug in.
The pre-plug?
The Rick and Morty comics are done through them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Have you read any of those?
Part of the first one.
Okay.
There was... I'm going to save it to the plug because it was...
Okay.
Oh, my gosh. I watched this video today, and it blew my fucking mind.
Oh, my God. Well, we'll stretch this podcast out as long as possible to torture you because you just want to talk about your bat plug.
Man, it was insane.
All right.
And then I guess other news, the FX X-Men series. We got a teaser trailer for that.
No, that's Fox.
Is it Fox?
It's Fox.
All right.
Yeah, because FX has Legion.
Right, yeah. It looked meh.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a teaser trailer. We didn't get anything.
No, I mean, I know Polaris, the character, is in it. I'm not sure in what role exactly, like how big her role is. And I know it's written by Matt Nix, who did. Oh, excuse me. What's that goddamn show? It was on USA. Burn Notice.
Oh, yeah. I never watched that show.
It was fine. It was fun. It was whimsical.
It was put on Netflix around the time when I was like binging White Collar.
Oh,
and that was the only recommendation on my list for like 6 months afterwards. Yeah.
I mean, I think both those shows were like fun concepts with good characters that didn't know how to end.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they both went really cliched endings. But yeah, so the Gifted's gonna be on Fox.
That's what it's called. Thank you. And I had no other information except that I saw the trailer, the teaser.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I probably won't watch it, but again, hopefully it's good. So, I guess really not much news wise. So we can get into Sideshow. It's the first episode this week. I guess I thought it was the first time we'd seen Croc since Vendetta, but he has a brief kind of appearance and Almost Got Him.
Right. I was going to say it was a very different take on him, but then I remembered like, oh, Almost Got Him. It's not really Croc. No.
Yeah, it's not. Although I did love it though, because at one point he does pick up a massive rock and try and kill Batman with it. So it's still basically...
Yeah, he was a fortune teller. Yeah. He can basically see the future.
Yeah.
Or Batman can, because he told the story.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, Batman just has everything so planned out meticulously.
Right. He couldn't lie to his villain, so he had to set the scenario up.
I mean, he's really, really committed when he puts on a disguise. Actually, I mean, that was one of the first things that happens in this episode. So they're on the train, they're transporting Croc to prison, and there's a whole bunch of reporters on the train for whatever reason. But of course, Croc escapes, and I love it because like one of the first things that happens is one of the reporters runs off to the end of the train, and it's Batman in disguise. I legitimately did not see that coming.
I mean, at this point, you have to expect it. Like, he does so much unnecessary work.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I guess because
I also didn't see it coming.
Yeah,
but
I was like, this is awesome. He's just like, he's hiding out in plain sight.
Yeah,
sort of. But I love that. Like, that's how they brought him into the episode. I liked that this whole episode was outside of Gotham.
Yeah, it was an interesting story because the last time we had an outside of Gotham story, it was pretty horrible. The last one I can remember. I guess there's been a couple now. That I think about it.
Well, I mean, the Demon's Quest was mostly outside of Gotham. But then what were you thinking of?
The Chain Gang.
Oh, the Forgotten.
Yeah,
that's a shit episode.
Mm-hmm.
This one's pretty good though.
Yeah, this one was much better than that. I mean, compared to Vendetta, I think this one was a much better Croc kind of even origin story.
Yeah.
This would have been a really interesting story if it was the first time we saw Croc. I mean, it's still a great story, but I'm curious how it would have been if, like, this was our first introduction to the character.
Yeah, because he is sympathetic-ish. Mm-hmm. Less so than, say, like, Freeze or even, like, Man-Bat or some of the other characters they really build up.
Right.
But he's good in this.
So they, like you said, they built up this kind of wall of sympathy where like he was carny and he was abused and they kept him underwater and chained up, and then he immediately turns around and steals and then locks them all in a cage.
Yeah, but I mean, was any of that actually true? I mean, that's what he said was all the things that happened to him. But I mean, and I think that's part of his general origin. But we don't know specifically. Was that part of his origin in the show? I honestly don't remember Vendetta that well. So
I vaguely remember there being a newspaper that said that he was an escaped carny. Like that part is definitely true. He's from Florida, obviously.
Of course he is.
And that he was a carny down in Florida.
Okay.
And that
it's Florida. How can you tell? Like,
right. That whole state is it's a carnival.
I hope we don't have like a massive concentration of fans in Florida.
Oh, I'm sure we do.
Because if we do, we don't anymore.
And I mean, at this point, it's like, I mean, being from Texas, you understand the Southern jokes, and like I'm sure people in Florida, like, they not enjoy, but they can take the Florida jokes.
Oh, okay. See, I'm from California, where we're so uppity we can't take jokes at our own expense.
You're Northern California, which is even worse.
Even worse.
Yeah.
In Southern California, they're just happy that you're talking about them.
Yeah.
So
any press is good press.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
He is from Florida.
That's right.
So him and Batman have a quick fight on top of a train.
Yeah. knocked off and end up in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that the animation in this episode is amazing.
It's very fluid. I didn't get a chance to look into who animated it.
Okay,
but it
I was going to
very
ask
well
you
done.
if you knew, because I mean, I'd say it's some of the most consistent, and just even the way Batman himself is drawn too. He's a little bit sharper. Like it almost felt like this was a midway point between the traditional animation of the animated series and then the redesign. Just in terms of everything felt like it just, I don't know, like a little bit cleaner.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the next new Batman Adventures, it's very fluid animation. He almost acts like he doesn't have bones.
Yeah,
which is cool. It's very different. And yeah, this I could see this episode as them being like testing out some things.
Yeah. It was kind of nice actually having this come right after Mask of the Phantasm, because as we were talking about in regards to that, like a little bit worried, like how is he going to be going back into the show after the movie is so good? And actually, in a weird way, this was a great way to do it because it was so different, because it was outside, out in the forest. The animation was so sharp. Like the characters are actually pretty well done.
Yeah, no, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, I liked it better than the next episode
called Batman Escapes.
Yeah,
or Batman Disappears.
Oh,
5 times. Sorry, I'll get into that later.
Okay. My God, yeah.
5 fucking times. So Croc is hit with the tranq dart while he's fighting Batman. They fall off the train. Like we said before, he lifts up a rock, and Batman kind of has this Mr. Miracle moment where Croc just misses him.
Was he trying to kill him there?
I think so.
Did he miss
throughout this whole
purpose?
episode? We kind of see his self-preservation side pop out.
That's true. He's a full-blown asshole. So yeah, he probably was trying to kill him and just missed.
Yeah,
because he's also super incompetent. But I mean, it does lead to like a decent chase sequence, though. The two of them running through the forest, and Croc only kind of just gets away because he smashes like a fallen tree across a chasm.
Which I had a problem with that. I mean, him getting away, yes. Batman chasing him, so he Croc pushes over a pile of rocks to break the tree, and Batman, who we see he's on the like green side of the tree, so he's more than halfway
That's true, yeah.
across, and he turns around as these boulders. I get the story point, but like you can have him like not be that far into the tree.
But to be fair, if the boulders were coming down on, as you put it, the green side of the tree, right? So if he went forward, he would be in the path of the boulders, and then when he get out of the path of the boulders,
Looks like they hit in the middle.
would be to go back.
Whatever. I don't know. I was frustrated with that moment unnecessarily. It's a long day. I was frustrated with a lot of this.
Yeah, but I mean, what I do like about that whole concept is it actually sets up a good reason as to why Croc kind of gets this long stretch with the Sideshow folks that he discovers without Batman's interference, because Batman is kind of separated from them, and we even get cool scenes of him trying to climb back up the cliff face and get to Croc. Really, again, some really beautiful shots there.
Yeah,
too. Like I think even when so when the boulders fall through, he uses the grapple to kind of slow himself down, and then the grapple gets taken away, and he still has to leap over and jump onto the cliffs. And when he's hanging off the cliffs, that's a really cool shot.
Yeah,
it's kind of off from the distance, and his cape's flapping in the wind. He's crawling back up. Like,
there was some really interesting cinematic shots in this, and like there was no, outside of like the boulder, maybe there was no real like intense threat.
No,
but they still made this episode feel fairly intense.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
Yeah, I actually vaguely remember this episode watching it. Mainly it was the Seal Boy. Like, that's kind of a hard thing to forget.
Creeped me the fuck out.
It's really bizarre.
Oh, man. Of like, because it's like normal Carney. You have a strong man. You have some Siamese twins. You have a ringleader.
Yeah.
And then what's the next thing you think of for a Carney? A half seal, half boy.
Well, so the reason that...
Was this the inspiration for Tusk?
I mean, that true story is so fucked up. It's absolutely possible that this was. But I mean, so I think the reason the Seal Boy is in there is because this is based off of a comic,
right?
And in the comic, there was a Seal Boy, and actually, he's even weirder in the comic than he is in the show. I guess I'll like post this on Instagram or something like that, so I can show it to the rest of the world. It's not just Cameron sitting across from me here.
God,
but like in the actual comic, his flippers are. They're black, like a seal. Like, I think he has like
an actual
fur.
seal with a human head.
Yeah, with like fur on him. Whereas the one in the cartoon, at least, like it's skin tone.
But that's still, because if you think about the anatomy, that means his bones like are like either his shoulder is either popped forward. I was trying to think of this on the drive over. Like his shoulder is either kind of morphed in so his arm can bend back, or he has like kind of like how like bird legs are bent.
Oh yeah,
like running like ostriches, their legs are bent the other way. That's how his shoulder or his elbow is. So he just like is constant. I'm trying to make the movement. Yeah. If you can hear my struggle of trying to make what a seal looks like with my arms.
Yeah, for those of you listening, especially if you're driving, go ahead and take your hands off the wheel and just try and make it look like you're a seal. It's really impossible.
And then his legs are just like they're flat, which is so creepy. Which means I don't know like what the bones look like in there, and it just. I had a lot of problems with the seal kid.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those things. The less you think about it, the better.
Yeah,
it is a huge departure. I mean, to be fair, Croc is bizarre, but that's more like a skin condition sort of thing,
right?
Than it is him being.
So that was the other thing.
Animal.
So like the way he finds the kind of carnies in the woods is he's not drowning, but he's like taken in by the water, and he falls down a waterfall, and he's kind of just like sitting there. Right?
And the seal boy comes and rescues him.
Yeah. But my thing with that was like, because I thought of Suicide Squad, and I'm like, well, he's a crocodile. He can swim really well.
Yeah.
And then I remember like, oh, no, he's just called that because his skin looks like a crocodile. Well, but he actually can't swim like that.
In Vendetta, he can swim well, right?
Can he? I don't remember.
Because the whole point of that episode is that he's attacking the boat. When it's
that's true.
Yeah.
So I'm just
I guess he's drugged. He's knocked out. Kind of. He's a little loopy.
Yeah.
I mean, but so he discovers this tribe. There must be a better term to use than carny.
I know that's just my go-to term.
I know. I'm gonna look this up.
Circus folk.
I mean, that's
what they are.
Circus. Yeah.
I don't want to call them freak shows.
Well, no, that's just even worse than carny.
Mean.
Yeah.
What is it called on Venice Boulevard down on Venice Pier?
I
think it's called Freak Show there.
Doesn't help. I look up circus folk online, and the response I get back is carny. So
I think we'll just go with carny for now.
Okay. I guess in Australia they say it's a showy. Yeah.
A showy?
Yeah,
no,
I don't know. Carny. Okay.
Carny.
We apologize for being offensive to
former carnies out there.
I don't know. Okay. Somebody finds them. And so it's like the ringleader. You said this already. Yeah, the Siamese twins, the strong guy. Some interesting voices in here. Did you look up any of these guys by chance?
No, I didn't have much time for these.
Goliath, the strong guy, is Brad Garrett, who was the brother on Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, later on, the voice of Lobo in the DCAU. Yeah.
Oh, in the not in Young Justice, or yes, in Young Justice.
I don't know in Young Justice, but I know in Superman, and then I think he maybe comes back in Justice League. I forget, but definitely in Superman, it's Brad Garrett. And then this is only personally entertaining for me, but so the Siamese twins, May June, is voiced by Jo Beth Williams, who played Patricia Cromwell in Jungle to Jungle. Do you remember that movie?
Is that the Tim Allen one?
Tim Allen, yeah, and
playing Tarzan.
No, it's a really young Sam Huntington. He was also Jimmy Olsen in Superman Returns, and been a whole bunch of other stuff too. But yeah, and Martin Short. Oh, Martin Short is so good in that movie.
I remember that movie because it keeps getting blocked out with the Brendan Fraser George of the Jungle. Yeah, because there were so many in the late 90s. For some reason, that property just took off.
Yeah,
and even Disney, like that was when the animated Tarzan even came out.
Oh my god, that's true.
That was the last of them.
Yeah. Oh,
did it just like happen to pop up on the?
I don't know.
What's the thing where you can royalty free list?
Well, but none of those other two. George of the Jungle was a cartoon in the same vein as like Dudley Do-Right and Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah, and then Jungle the Jungle wasn't Tarzan.
I know, but they're all the same story. It's man from jungle comes to town.
Yeah. Oh, you're thinking of
I am thinking of a third one, aren't I?
No. No, what's the term when it's a public domain? Is that what you're trying to think
that's
of?
what I'm trying to think of.
I think Tarzan at this point is public domain, but the other two aren't. But I don't know. I saw that it was Jungle to Jungle. I'm like, I remember watching that movie as a kid. It was stupid, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one, so the ringleader, do you know who Kenneth Mars is? Probably not.
I do not.
Did you watch Malcolm in the Middle? Mm-hmm. So when the older brother goes to work on the Dude Ranch, the guy who runs the Dude Ranch kind of has like a German accent. I can bring up a photo of him here.
I I can make out a silhouette.
Have you ever seen Young Frankenstein?
Why are you putting me on blast right now?
I'm not going to be mean.
No, I know, but that's a big shame of mine that I haven't seen Young Frankenstein.
It's a genuine question if you've seen Young Frankenstein. He plays Inspector Kemp, which is a great character in that. This is
Okay, yeah, I remember him now.
Okay, yeah. Most of these were just for me because I really love Young Frankenstein and Jungle the Jungle, apparently. But, had to share.
You have bad taste, Chris.
Oh, I deserve that.
None of my plugs are in bad taste this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to challenge you on that, but all right.
Yeah.
So they take Croc in because he's a kindred spirit.
He's a fellow carny.
Yeah, he's had to go through.
He's a fellow freak.
Oh God.
I don't mean to be mean.
He's had to go through some similar struggles.
Right.
And so they have this kind of place they bought for themselves so they can kind of get away from society and like all the hell they've had to go through. And he is like distant at first and is kind of his usual assholey self, but he does kind of warm up to them a little bit. Like he warms up to them just enough you kind of hope that he'll be taken in as part of the family.
Oh yeah, because I saw this story going a completely different way of
Where did you see it going?
The family trying. I mean, the family did kind of try and stop Batman, but like, I don't know. I wanted to feel more sympathetic for him, but like the second,
I did too.
So in the meal they have dinner together, and the the strongman Goliath kind of lets it out that there's $50,000 stored in the barn somewhere.
Yeah,
that just I guess as being a carny. Croc knew exactly where that meant.
Yeah, inside the organ?
Inside one of the organ pipes.
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
And he's like he knocks on each of the pipes and there's a different sound, and like one of the sound, like obviously it's a different sound because that's how organs work.
Yeah.
But like one is like just enough off where he's like, this sound isn't right for this note. And I'm like, how do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know? They're all hollow because that's how organs work. So you can't base it off of like, oh, this one sounds more hollow. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, it has a trap door built in, too, which would actually, I think, kind of ruin the effect of the organ.
Right. I mean, you never see anyone play it. So
yeah. Also, it'd be way easier to spot a trap door built into an organ pipe than it would be to go and knock on each individual one. Right. But we'll give them points for being an attempt at clever.
Yeah. It was creative. It was different. Yeah. It wasn't like behind a portrait.
I don't even have portraits there.
No. I mean, like usually in barns, it's like under one of the planks, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like in the hay.
Mm-hmm. So I keep all my loot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Goliath said he was going to go sleep. Like, did he say he was going to go sleep in the barn? Did I mishear that?
It's something about on the straw.
Okay, yeah. So he just like slept outside. I felt kind of bad for Goliath.
Yeah, because he's being so nice to Croc. Like, here, have my bed.
Yeah.
I'm going to go sleep outside, where Batman finds him first.
Yes. And Batman's trying to be kind of nice about it.
Yeah,
like,
kind of.
He doesn't get aggressive immediately.
No. But I mean, he's just by his existence aggressive.
Right.
Yeah.
So he like wakes up Goliath. They get in a little fight. Goliath calls Croc in. Croc like locks he locks Batman in the cage, in the like generic lion's cage that all carnivals have. Carnivals have.
Yeah.
And he convinces the other carnies that he is the one that locked him up in his kind of backstory.
Yeah, Croc's like, oh, it's Batman's fault. He did all that shit to me.
Yeah, he was the one that locked me in chains, and he's still wearing his handcuffs. So, like, these are the chains that he put on me.
Mm-hmm.
So they all turn against Batman. And then we kind of see Croc's true colors come out, and he's like, we have to kill Batman.
Yeah.
Which is now like...
With a pitchfork.
Yeah, because that's what you do in a farm country. I know, I'm from Texas.
That's how you solve all your problems. You just throw it into a lion cage and kill the pitchfork.
Pitchfork and a torch.
Yeah.
That's how you solve everything. So his true colors come out. The rest of the carnies are like, okay, we're on Batman's side. And Croc, who now has the Bat Belt, the utility belt.
He takes Batman's belt and does he take something off of there to use?
Yeah, like knockout gas.
Oh, that's right. He gasses everyone else and runs off.
Mm-hmm. So then they're all locked up in a cage except Goliath, who's just locked to a bar.
Yeah, locked to the outside of it. Yeah, and then Croc goes in and grabs one of 2 rifles.
Fucking sniper rifles.
Yeah, fully loaded.
Of all the guns you could have used in this episode, not even like a semi-automatic sniper rifle, because he's letting those rounds off.
It's like a hunting rifle. Yeah, you would think that people who have tried to escape society because they're hateful and prejudiced would then not keep loaded guns around.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, the only child there has seal hands, so it's not like he's going to grab the gun and use it.
He doesn't. I don't think he has fingers from the looks. We can't even fire it.
Yeah. That's a form of gun safety, I guess.
Right. Just turn all children into seals. That seal kid creeped me out so much.
Oh, but he's so nice.
He's a sweet kid. But I mean, like,
for a kid with flippers,
good for him. For a kid who's the entire world has looked down on him his entire life, like, good for him for not being just like a bundle of problems.
Yeah, they're all pretty positive people, actually.
Yeah, which is really surprising.
Yeah, but someone has to be, considering the other 2 people in the episode are Croc and Batman,
right?
So, yeah, Croc starts like shooting at them.
Oh, there's one line that stuck out to me. And it's when he's arguing with the rest of the Carnies, and the Siamese twins are like, Croc, we don't kill humans. And he turns to them like, who you calling human? And I'm like, oh, shit, you don't call a Carney non-human.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was really being mean.
Yeah, he was. I mean, like I said, I wanted to feel sympathy for him, but like after that story, everything he does makes me hate him more.
Yeah.
It just turns him into a generic bad guy.
Yeah.
I mean, not generic, but just like... what's the D&D term? Chaotic evil.
Oh, okay.
There's it's the 3x3 scale.
I mean, I did one once, and I was like, "What neutral? What's the middle? Like,
neutral.
Is it neutral?
Because it's lawful good, lawful neutral.
Because like it's what's the spectrum? It's like lawful to anarchic. I don't know.
No, it's lawful to chaotic.
Oh, that's right.
And then good to evil.
Okay.
And it's only a 3x3. So I guess we can just we have 4.
whatever the middle section is, basically means you have no personality or opinions or feelings. That's me.
There you go.
Yeah.
In my campaign, I'm neutral good right now.
Oh, that's right, because you're playing a campaign.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gone pretty well.
Nice. I'm glad you're neutral good.
Yeah, my character was just cast into a void, and I lost all my items. And so next week, my team has to come and find me.
Oh no! If they don't, will that push you like further into the evil category? Like, will you turn on them?
No, I just am missing next week, so that was kind of the story they made up for me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna go into it. We don't need to talk about top decking.
All right.
So Batman kind of pushes the cart off of the hill, crashes into the water, gets out, chases Croc around. The seal boy helps him get into the hut.
Oh yeah, there's like an entrance into the mill in the water.
Yeah. And then we see, of course, Bruce Wayne was like a pole vaulting champion.
Yeah, I love that.
It was a really cool camera angle.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, of course he knows how to pole vault.
He knows how to do everything.
I know, but that's one that I felt like he knew before he started. Like, he was that like preppy kid who was on the pole vaulting team.
Well, yeah, he spent all of high school doing like track and field and chemistry and stuff, so he could eventually become Batman.
Yeah,
before he went traveling the world and became a magician with Zatanna and Zatara, he was off doing pole vaulting.
Yeah,
but I do love it because they
excellent form.
Yeah, they end up out like on the mill over the water in a fight, and it's like that's a place we've seen so many fights happen before, but not necessarily with Batman. I don't know. For me, I was watching this weird moment, like I really like the way they've set this up.
Yeah.
Like that it is a completely different environment and it's kind of silly, but for some reason it works.
Yeah, and they're not fighting on top of the mill the whole time, which is, I think, what a lot of cartoons and TV shows do.
Yeah, they just get there at the end. And
yeah, well, they're kind of everywhere. Like, they start on top, and then they throw them into the water, and then they kind of are carried back up, and they're still fighting. It's like they're fighting around the entire scene, which is interesting.
Yeah, and eventually Croc gets knocked out.
Yeah, it's hard. Gets his head squished.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what was going on.
Yeah, I think in real life his head would have like exploded.
Probably. But he's got a thick skull. So
yeah,
he's got Croc skull.
Yeah, so he is knocked out. Police come, lock him up.
they like airlift him. They strap him up like Hannibal Lecter, like in a gurney, and then they just airlift him out of there.
Yeah,
because that makes sense. That police department must have a crazy budget.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's probably funded by Wayne.
Yeah, that's true. Why did they have to transport him by a train if they had a helicopter this entire time?
Maybe it's cheaper. It's probably cheaper.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe they're taking the helicopter to the train station to do it all over again.
Hopefully they're far enough away they can just go straight there. Who knows at this point.
But I also really love the very last line where Seal Kid is talking to Croc. He's like, this is a place we can truly be ourselves. Why'd you have to do this? And Croc's like, well, I am being myself. I was being myself. I'm like, that's interesting. Because he's a character all about self-preservation, just like kind of crocodiles are.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we see him want to be connected to people, but that's not for the good of him. All he wants is money and to be safe.
Yeah. And we see, if I recall, we see like a bits of this later again. Like there's an episode in the new Batman Adventures where it's him and Baby Doll end up teaming up. And again, he gets put in a similar situation where he kind of does want human connection, but it's so unnatural to him that he doesn't know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I like the way they handled him in this episode. That they gave him just enough room to be interesting, but they didn't make him overly sympathetic. In the day, he is still a thug. Right.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I put it on the watch list and not the don't watch list.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. When we get to the end of this series, we're gonna have to sit down and do that definitive.
Oh, God damn it! That's a lot of work.
I know.
All right. Whatever.
But hey, we already know we can just throw this one on the watch list.
There we go. Yeah. One down.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really have any trivia. I mentioned earlier that it's based off of a comic from Denny O'Neil called A Vow from the Grave. I looked up the actual storyline where I guess Goliath, because Croc wasn't in that original storyline, they added Croc into it. And in that one, like Croc is the villain and like hangs the ringleader and like tries to kill the Seal Boy. It's bizarre.
Not Seal Boy.
Yeah. It's really strange.
God. I finally remembered why the Seal Kid causes me so much anguish.
Why? Tell us, Cameron. Pull up a chair.
There was a song that was stuck in my head for a good 2 years.
Wow.
Do you remember As Told by Ginger?
I remember the show.
It had a very odd art style.
Yeah, I remember the show. I don't remember a lot of details. I don't think I've ever really watched it.
There's one episode, the only episode that I can recall
that has
offhand.
a seal boy in it?
The Seal Girl.
What?
It's a talent show, and the song is called "I'm Just a Seal Girl Living in a Real World."
Oh,
and it's the most annoying thing. And it's a girl in front of her whole class dressed in this stupid seal suit singing this song. God, we don't need to play it right now.
Oh.
Living in the real world, and it's so hard to get by.
Because seals can't even cry.
How did you get this song stuck in your head for 2 years?
This song was stuck. I couldn't get it out.
I mean, your deep knowledge of obscure animation continues to amaze me.
This one killed me. We can turn that off. It's oh God, that show was so interesting.
I love you have so many layers of deep-seated seal-based trauma. Like, can you go near like harbors and stuff? Does it freak you out?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. And
you okay at aquariums?
The Pokemon seal is one of my favorites, and Dugong is awesome because he can learn Aurora Beam, which is like very rare in the first generation.
Oh, and there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, all right.
But it's just this.
God. Oh man, we learned so much, Batman. This show, Cameron, it's fantastic. All right, well, we'll move on from the trauma here of your seal-based childhood.
God, that's stupid.
And our sponsor this week is This on That. So again, we've looped back around. We're back up at the top of the list here, but so I'll cut in the promo here.
Did you ever want to know about this?
Did you ever want to know about that?
Well, now you can know about this and that with This on That.
I'm Chad Foglin.
And I'm Mike Solari, and we're going to bring along a lot of funny people for you to enjoy.
Celebrity guests.
Musicians.
People who are just weirdos.
The guy outside.
Our friends.
And that's it.
And they talk about whatever topic they want to talk about, and we join in. So listen to an episode. It's free.
On iTunes.
It's on the Nerdist School Network.
And there it was, guys.
Yeah.
So
Is that
go.
Chad Foglin's podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
So now we're on to A Bullet for Bullock, which they leaned real heavy onto the kind of noir feel of this whole thing.
Yeah. I loved the music in this episode.
So, yeah, I mean, the music kind of became a big deal. Did you look up any?
Nope.
Okay, see, I was trying.
I left it for you this
I
week.
was trying to give you an
I
opportunity.
appreciate it. I appreciate it after last week's theft.
But I just shat all over your hopes and dreams.
No, I
your
didn't
love
have
of
time this
trivia.
week.
No, it's fine. So, this actually won the 1996 Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Music Direction and Composition.
That's well deserved.
Yeah, and so it's by Harvey Cohen, who's a film composer. He passed away a few years ago, but he's done tons and tons of stuff. But I guess when Shirley Walker approached him, they wanted to do this kind of like jazzy noir feel. And by coincidence, Henry Mancini, who did like a very prolific composer himself, he did the Pink Panther theme, is kind of what he's most famous for, had died shortly before Harvey Cohen was approached. So this was kind of his homage to that style. And certainly once like the Pink Panther was a reference point, you can kind of see,
Oh, yeah.
you can kind of hear it in there. I like it at times. It's a little heavy-handed for me occasionally. What I particularly like is the end when they do kind of like they incorporate the Batman animated theme into the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's weird.
Did you ever watch Cowboy Bebop?
No.
Okay. Great anime. So, usually on everyone's like top 5 list.
I've heard it a lot. I've heard about
They
it a lot.
have
But
a very similar soundtrack
Okay.
by this band called The Seatbelt.
that's a cool name.
Japanese band.
Yeah.
But they also do, if you like really enjoy this like not, I'd consider like poppy jazz, not poppy,
Yeah.
but just like really cool, like exciting jazz. The soundtrack for Cowboy Bebop done by them is very similar to this, and it's just
Okay.
it's really cool.
All right. I will check that out, actually. I do love me my jazzy songs.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, like right from the beginning, very noir film. It's set at Christmas time, snow everywhere. Some guy almost runs Bullock off the road, and we don't see who it is other than a reflection of some very pronounced eyes in the rearview mirror. It's kind of a weird shot, but it's also kind of cool. But we also see very quickly that the animation is not as good as the last episode.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I think they focused a lot more on story on this one because there was a lot that happened in this episode.
There is, yeah. They're actually, just trying to keep track of everything that happened. I have a lot of notes. I was also kind of like dozing out when I was watching this, so it's a little...
There were a couple things that like they kind of jumped ahead. So Bullock calls Batman for help. He doesn't want to go to GCPD because he doesn't want them to find like anything about him, I guess.
Yeah, as he puts it, he bends the rules sometimes. Like
Right.
he's not on the take, but obviously he's a little rough around the edges because the whole episode's about how everyone hates him.
But there's one phrase that he said, and I'd never heard this phrase before. Maybe you as a car person has.
Okay.
He says that he was part of a fender massage.
I had never heard that
I
either.
thought that was so fascinating.
I liked that. That's, I mean, again, like really heavy leaning into the noir thing. Like that's the sort of like just kind of weird line that someone would use in a movie like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked it. That's what I'm going to say next. If I ever get into a fender bender, I'm
If
definitely
someone
going to
ever
say,
hits you with a car,
Yeah,
I just got a
at a
nice little
fender
fender
massage.
massage.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so he asks Batman for help, and I love this too. He gives him a floppy disk loaded up with like all of his old cases, I guess.
It was going to take all night to decipher.
Yeah, that must be a huge file on that floppy
Right.
disk, or Batman's computer is garbage.
It's probably slow because, it's still 90. Does dial-up exist in 93?
Well, we've never been able to figure out exactly what Batman's relationship is to the internet in this because it seems like
I don't know if the general public has an idea of like internet yet because the first web bubble hasn't even happened.
In 93, I honestly, no, I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm sure someone's going to yell at me.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean my mom.
Yeah. Please do. Yell at him.
So Batman goes back. He decides to go back out on the street because he wants to be quote unquote guardian or Bullock's guardian angel.
Yeah.
Bullock is chasing down another kind of case, and he's just a horrible cop. in this situation.
He kind of is.
He almost gets shot twice.
Oh, is this when he's with Montoya?
Yeah.
Wait, is this before or after he goes to his apartment?
Oh, I scrolled past that.
Okay,
Goes to his
yeah.
apartment first. That is a very important part.
Because like that, so his neighbor Nivens, who was clearly designed to look like David Niven, who played the Pink Panther.
Got it. Thank you.
It all ties together. Yeah, tons of other stuff.
This is landlord, right?
That's a little unclear. It seems like it's his landlord.
I'm pretty sure it's his landlord.
Yeah, and I got a little bit confused too. So I guess Bullock's apartment's rent controlled, and that explains why his particular apartment's like an absolute shithole. There's little like holes in the wall and cockroaches climbing around, and everything around him is super nice.
Yeah, and it's like in like downtown Gotham.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't know.
gentrified downtown Gotham. But at the same time, like I'm not a landlord. I do not know how this works, but I find it hard to believe that you could redevelop an entire area, particularly one building, and have one room not get renovated.
Yeah.
Because generally I wouldn't think they would do that. They wouldn't put in tons of money to make an entire building incredibly nice and have one be horrible.
I don't know. It reminds me.
I don't know.
I think was it Stuart Little, where it was the tiny yellow house in between the two? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of
Bullock
that.
lives in Stuart Little's house.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's like the opposite, because like the neighboring houses are super nice, and then
It's
he
super
just lives
nice.
in this
Yeah,
trash
he's
hole.
this piece of shit. Yeah. But yeah, and then he's out trying to like solve the case. He gets like pushed onto the train tracks at one point.
Yeah.
Another murder attempt. This I thought was interesting though, because you assume if there's a commercial cut there, you assume Batman's going to jump in and save him. But no, like the train
just on a different
misses
track.
him. So it's like I guess just luck kind of saved him in that
What
point.
does it feel like to be a like train conductor
in
when,
Gotham?
when like there's a 50% chance that someone's going to jump or be pushed in front of your track?
If I
You
were,
think they just not care anymore?
if I were a train conductor living in Gotham, I would just never look out the window.
I was going to say, I just have a blindfold on.
I would just like bring a book, or I guess did they have Walkmans then? Yeah, they would
Yeah.
have. Yeah, they just like been on a Walkman, just not paying attention to whatever battle's going off on my rooftop, or whatever person's been pushed in front of my train,
Yeah.
or whatever hole has been blown into the train track out on some extension bridge somewhere. I just be like, no, I'm tuned out.
Yeah. I'm just so fascinated by that. So he's not hit. Batman doesn't save him. He continues on with Montoya to this case.
Yeah.
They're kind of like breaking into a drug dealer's house. Also, we see like a legit cracked in, and we see was he selling cocaine or
I have my notes, like, because they introduced the character Vinny the Shark, that this is like the main suspect who's after Bullock because he broke up his whole ring. Does Batman actually use the word crack dens, or did I just write that down?
He says a crystal something.
Okay, because again, I
Yeah.
wasn't paying super close attention. And then I'm like, wait a minute.
But it's basically like, he basically said crystal meth on a kid's show.
yeah, I was like, is there actual crack
Yeah.
involved here?
Well, because you see him with like a white sack, because we see like one of Vinny's I guess like sellers selling to a kid.
Was it a kid?
Oh, like a teenager.
I really
He
wasn't
looked
paying.
young.
I was not
He
paying
didn't look like a
attention.
full grown adult. He was short.
Okay.
But he like you see him exchange his bag of white substance for money, and then we learn that Vinny is selling crystal something. And I'm like, how did this get through the censors?
It's sugar.
It is sugar.
It's really, really good sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pure stuff, not this garbage refined thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You make the best kind of sugar cookies with this.
That's Vinny the Shark's real big business, actually. He's gone super legit.
Yeah. He's the best bakery.
He's trying to check
in all
out the
of
Girl Scout
Gotham.
cookies.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But yeah, apparently they're crack dens in this episode. And they end up eventually out at an auto plant, right? Wait, what? I don't know. What happens?
So they break into a different kind of drug lord's area. Bullock is almost shot. Batman comes, saves him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's like, we need to talk off the clock. So then they go back to Bullock's apartment. Batman's there. And then he tells him he thinks it's Vinny the Shark. Do you have any connection to him? He's like, yes. Sorry.
Oh, 'cause
then
they-
he's pushed into the subway.
Oh, okay. Because eventually Batman interrogates someone and they learn that Vinny's holed up in like an old auto plant.
Yeah.
Right?
Um,
And they, as they're ready to, because that's right, Batman picks up Bullock in the Batmobile and they drive out there. And as they're getting ready to break in, Batman's like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why would Vinny warn you to get out of town? Because the whole thing, not only is Bullock
Yeah,
Forgetting all-
there's like two storylines going
Forgetting
on.
all the important details. Not only is someone trying to kill Bullock, but they're also like sending him warnings, like you need to get out of town.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that was even in the apartment. When Batman's in his apartment, he's like, "This doesn't make sense. If you were getting these death threats, if it was a professional, they would have just taken you down in your apartment.
Yeah.
Not waited for you to do it. Not waiting for you to do it in the streets.
Yeah. So Batman's still even kind of suspect when they go in to capture Vinny that he may not be the guy who's doing it. And maybe this is just me, but did Vinny look like Lee Marvin to you?
I don't know who that is.
Okay. He's been in tons of stuff. Doesn't matter.
I'm sure if I saw a picture, I'd recognize
I'm
him.
not going to bother.
That's fine. So they break in, they kind of knock out Vinny.
Yeah.
Then Bullock has him kind of under arrest. Batman's like, "Are you sure this is the guy? Like, there's no other suspects on your list?" He's like, "No, this is definitely the guy."
Yeah.
And then
Couldn't be anyone else that we introduced in the beginning of this episode.
I
at
was
all.
really hoping it was going to be a red herring, that it was going to be someone else. I mean, it couldn't have been anyone else.
No.
But we get back to his apartment, and he's held at gunpoint out front. It's a guy in a mask, and he's like, how could you do this? And then Batman comes, knocks the gun out of his hand. We learn it's the landlord slash roommate, not roommate, slash neighbor.
Yeah.
He's like, all I wanted you to do was move out. And then he has this really crazy speech of how like there's no way he's going to be punished for this. Like, yes, you are.
Yeah, like no jury in the country would like sentence me for trying to kill you because you're messy.
Because you're that much of a pig.
I mean, to be fair, in this episode, he pisses off everybody.
Yeah.
Like a lot does happen. Like there's a whole point where he like goes trying to get information from Summer Gleason. He like trashes her office and she gets pissed at him. His neighbor hates him. The guys he's busted up hates him. Even Batman, like I was even surprised by how quickly Batman agreed to help him, considering that even as Bullock's asking for help, he's being a total dick about it. But I mean, to the point where it's actually been kind of great. Like as Bullock's asking Batman, like, "Do you want to help me wrap this up with this Nivens guy?" He's like,
Nah.
"No, you got enough problems, man."
It's all you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Batman's telling someone else that they have enough problems,
Right.
it's pretty bad. This is a random note, but was this the first time we've seen Montoya in plain clothes?
Yes.
So I'm assuming then, since the last time we saw her, she must have gotten a promotion to detective. Was she lieutenant before that?
Yeah, Lieutenant Montoya.
Okay, yeah. So she must be a detective now because she's wearing. She's no longer in a police uniform.
Yeah.
So.
Good for her.
I know, right?
Moving on. I mean, after she caught Harley and Ivy, because that's the last time we saw her.
Oh God, that's right.
I'm sure that's when she got her promotion.
Yeah, I love Montoya.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
So I made this frustrated outburst at the beginning of the episode.
Oh yeah, you were really pissed about something.
The vanishing act that he does with Gordon all the time throughout every series and movie and live action adaptation. He does it everywhere.
Yeah.
Did it 5 times in this episode.
Really?
5 times. He did a stupid vanishing act in front of Bullock. And one of them, like, Bullock didn't even look away. It was like a camera was panned on Bullock, and then it pans back to a wide shot. And Bullock is still, like, making eye contact with him, and he's gone. He's like,
just disappeared.
Where'd he go? Like, that's the one where you can't get away with that. On the last time he does it, you do actually see his cape, blow away as he jumps down the window.
Okay.
It's like Bullock's catching on. Like he's not going to get him a 6th time.
Fool me 5 times.
Fool me 5, shame on me. But fool me 6.
Go on, finish the rhyme.
I don't know.
I don't know where.
I can't finish it.
Yeah, but I mean it's fine
For being a Bullock themed episode, I think it's better than what it could have been.
I suppose that's true.
Like we said, the last time we had like a Bullock themed ish episode was the last Killer Croc episode.
Yeah, and that was way back. I was like
Vendetta was like one of the first
4 or 5.
Yeah.
It was really early on. I thought it was interesting too because I mean we talked about this before that the production order is what we're going off of, which is not the same as the release order. That this episode actually aired like a full year later.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like the Sideshow came out in I think it's like fall of 94. This was fall of 95.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't know why. Maybe they just were like, this is kind of mad. We'll just push it on to the end. Yeah, again, I don't really have any trivia on this one other than
No.
the bit about the music. So
Yeah, everyone go check out the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack.
Yeah.
Tank is the name of the theme song, and it's like one of the most iconic anime openings of all time.
Should we count that as an official plug?
Nope.
Okay, good. I don't have to try and track it down and put it in the notes. But I think, ready? Move on to plugs at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you have? You go first. this time.
I actually have been catching up on a lot of stuff recently.
Okay.
I watched the movie Sicario.
Oh, right. It came out last year.
Yeah. So it's
Emily Blunt. No.
Yeah, it's Emily
yeah,
Blunt, Benicio del Toro, Josh Brolin. It's an amazing cast and directed by Denis Villeneuve. And then written by, I think it's Taylor Sheridan, who also wrote Hell or High Water. Did you ever see that?
No, but it's Chris Pine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Hell or High Water. And I really like this a lot, too, because I really liked Denis Villeneuve stuff. The first thing I saw of his, though, was Arrival, which I think is just a bigger, a little bit more sophisticated film. I think this movie might have been a little overhyped for me going in.
Yeah, because it was getting a ton of praise.
Yeah, it is really good. It's just it's not quite what I expect it to be. Like I remember hearing references to like a big sequence of them trying to like get out of Mexico, and there was a sequence where that happens, but it made it seem like it was this like real big crazy fight, and it's really not. So it's not an action movie. It's definitely more of like a drama thriller sort of thing. But it is really, really good.
Yeah, in my old job, I remember my boss was obsessed with that movie when it came out. Like anytime we got a chance to talk about it, he would just go off.
And I think if I'd seen it right when it came out, like in theaters right afterwards, I might have liked it more. But enough time has passed, and I'm like,
right, because it was definitely a sleeper of last year.
Oh yeah,
like no one, it didn't have great promotion. So I think that's why like it was very underrated and then people saw it.
I kept hearing it pop up at a whole bunch of people's like top movies of the year list, and it just kind of floated past everyone. But no, it is really good. So that I actually do recommend. And then the other thing I watched was Justice League Dark.
Oh yeah, with Constantine.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Nope,
not very good.
All right,
I mean, because it's just like Batman Bad Blood and Batman versus Robin. It's all in that New 52 kind of verse.
I don't know why they're still like it's obviously doing okay.
Yeah,
and it probably helps them churn it out when they kind of already have all their characters laid out. They have their voices set, but I don't know, the pre 52 stuff was just so good. Like every movie was, I don't think they had not that I can think of, a bad animated film before they started the New 52 stuff.
No, I mean they had stuff that wasn't as good. Like I remember the Green Lantern one wasn't that great. Like the Wonder Woman one's
dare you?
Good. But I mean, it's not.
Which one? First Flight or Emerald Knights?
I don't even
First
remember.
Flight is the one where he becomes a Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Emerald Knights is the 3 mini stories.
Okay, I just remember neither of those were as memorable as like Doomsday or Under the Red Hood or any other ones. But it's like it feels like part of the problem is they're doing really generic versions of stories that are already kind of okay, right? And I think maybe part of the problem is that they're taking stuff that's set in this like far more complex continuity, sort of, and they have to find a way to simplify it down, and it seems just muddled. And so, I mean, to be fair, there are some cool things in it. So Matt Ryan, who was Constantine on the live action show, voices the character, which he's good, but the role is terribly written because they basically just like grabbed every cliche you can imagine in like the British character playbook and just used all of those. Yeah. The one thing I did like is that because it's all magic, Batman is kind of out of his realm a little bit. And so he kind of has to be like a passive observer through the whole thing. And how they play that's actually kind of fun to watch Batman not be in his element, which never happes.
Okay.
Because like even amongst the superheroes, he's always like on top of his game.
Yeah. He's like Vin Diesel.
Exactly.
He's never out of his element.
Oh, I said yes to that before I realized what you were saying. And the problem is you're also right.
Yep.
So
basically, Vin Diesel is the Batman of the Fast and Furious of any Vin Diesel movie. Oh. And you know it's true.
I think a part of me just died.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm glad we can connect these universes.
Oh, no. Yes, I guess you're right on that. But like pretty much every Vin Diesel movie, it's not that good.
There we go.
So
there you go.
Got
That's
it
the way
in
to
there.
end it.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess if you really like Constantine, Zatanna's in it too.
Yeah,
like,
okay. I'll probably see it for her.
Deadman, I like Deadman a lot as a character. They do okay with him. It's just kind of
Boston Brand.
Boston Brand, yeah. It's kind of meh. But yeah. So, but what have you been checking out? You had something you were super excited about earlier.
Man. So the first thing that I'm very excited about, not as excited as the other thing, I don't know why it took me so long, but I finally started watching the last season of Samurai Jack. And it's so...
Wait, the last or the new?
The new.
Okay.
It will be the last. There's only 10 episodes.
Okay.
There are 8 episodes in right now, so there's only 2 more weeks.
Okay.
And holy shit. I forgot how good... was it Tartovsky?
Yeah.
How good he is at cinematography.
Yeah.
It blows me away how beautiful these episodes are. And it just... I watched the first episode and I was mad at myself for waiting so long to start the series. It's so... I can't even express how good these episodes are.
Yeah.
They have just enough callback to the old stuff to where even if you just watched a couple episodes, you'll know kind of who they're referencing. And it's... I can't even explain. It's that good that I don't have words to express how good it is. So everyone, please go watch the last season of Samurai Jack. They're showing every episode for free on AdultSwim.com. No subscription needed.
Okay. Having never watched the original, where could I find that if I want to get caught up?
I don't know.
God, honestly, what's the fucking point?
I don't know legal sources. I'll say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the other thing that I was super excited about, there's a video that came out today. There's a YouTube series called The Film Theorists. I don't know if I've ever shown you their videos. It's run by Matt Pat, who started The Game Theorist as well. But there was a theory that came out today that I don't know. Did you ever watch Gravity Falls?
No.
Oh, see, that's the problem. I don't have it. The reason I was so excited is I don't have anyone that watches both shows they talk about.
Okay.
But it's basically saying that Gravity Falls, this Disney show, takes place in the same universe that Rick and Morty takes place.
Oh, interesting.
And there's the 2 writers are very good friends.
Okay.
And so there's multiple references of each other's shows in like there's a lot of Gravity Fall references in Rick and Morty. And it blew my mind when they finished. It's like a 15-minute video. If there are Gravity Falls fans out there, please go watch it because it's so fascinating. And usually his videos, like he's kind of grasping at straws and making these huge predictions, but this has like solid, concrete like evidence that they're the same universe.
That's pretty awesome.
It's really cool.
I also haven't watched Gravity Falls. It's wrapped though, right? It's done.
Yeah, Gravity Falls. It's only 2 seasons. For being a Disney show, it quickly became one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I've only heard great things about it. It's really sophisticated for being like a kids show.
Yeah, after Kim Possible and Phineas and Ferb, I think this is my 3rd favorite Disney animated show.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's all up on like their XD app.
Yeah, and if not there, then it's all up on Hulu.
Okay. Oh, even better.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna plug Gravity Falls as well because it's so good. It's only 2 seasons. Like, if you're a fan of any kind of like mystery genre or like 80s horror, kind of like how Rick and Morty is, they draw a lot of references from 70s and 80s horror films.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so good.
All right.
Yeah, those are my 2 plugs. Samurai Jack first because it's so good, Chris. Oh my god, it's so good.
I will try and find a legal way to watch the original so I can watch the new one.
You don't need to watch like all of it
but no, I have to.
I know you do, but you just need to watch like the first 3 episodes until you meet the Scotsman, who's one of the greatest characters ever.
Is he Scottish?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good.
He's like the biggest Scottish stereotype.
Are there bagpipes?
Oh yeah.
Like, does he play the bagpipes?
Yes.
Okay, good.
He has this magic sword, which is so cool. But he has this. It became very popular on Tumblr. He has this like 30-second to a minute long rant. Not rant, but just like insult that he calls Jack, and it's all like very deep Scottish jokes.
Oh yeah.
And so someone finally deciphered each like line by line of like how he's insulting Jack, and he's like insulting his hat, his teeth, his face, his gi, his sword, his sandals, his family. And I was like, oh, he like just destroys him.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I will go check that out. I'll check out Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
Too. I think
both great shows.
Yeah, I think,
and that's not just me saying great shows. Like they're like, that's the general public saying they're great shows.
I mean, I'm probably the biggest critic out there of your taste in entertainment, and I've heard good things about those. And except for maybe Sicario, I think your plugs this week are better than mine.
Yeah.
So you do have good taste.
And then there's Seal Girl.
Yes. Okay, I think that does it for us.
Yeah.
right? So you can find the podcast at Timm Talk Pod on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. And if you guys have things you think we'd be interested in, wanna plug, let us know. We're always curious what our fans, our listeners are checking out. So,
Yeah.
And I'm at Lordifer on all those same things.
I'm at Cameron.Dexter.
Nailed it.
I'm on it now. I got
You're
it.
still on top of it. And then, of course, we have our latest crossover episode with The Novice and Frank and the podcast Two Worlds, this time all about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We just recorded that over the weekend. It'll be coming out probably later this week. One of the most fun things we've recorded.
Yeah.
I say it was
Very unprofessional, but it was a lot of fun.
it was horrible. Yeah. But it's
a lot of walking in and out.
Yeah.
It's also a mini Fast and Furious talk podcast.
That's right. At the end, yeah. It's long, but I had so much fun recording it. It's really good. So definitely check that out. Of course, once you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, don't go listen to it if you haven't, because it's just spoiler filled right from the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, that does it for this week. We're back next week with something.
The Trial.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited for that one.
And then something else.
And something else, yeah. Whatever. It'll be good. So, but I think that does it. So, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
The Nerdist School Network. For class and show information, visit nerdistschool.com.